Jeremy, man, wipe off them tears, bro.
Welcome back for the second helping of The Rant, the only sports show on TV 16. Last week, the show was struggling.
It was a show. It was a show.
It was a show. It was a start, but we realized we thought about something this week. If the show was going to be bad, we're going to have fun doing it. Jeremy Writt, I'm your host of The Rant, where we bring you sports reporting with personality. Personality?
Personality.
I have personality. Mace, do you have personality?
Does that mean it's my turn?
It's Mace's turn. Mace.
Well, I'm going to start off today ranting about NFL and about sports and about football players who just decide to quit after a few seasons. I want to talk about when I was a little kid. Yeah, I'm from Detroit. You know, I grew up watching Barry Sanders play football.
Detroit what? Detroit what?
That's right. I grew up watching Barry Sanders play football. When I played Pee Wee, I wanted number 20 on my back. I wanted to make the shakes and moves that Barry Sanders made. Why did this guy run away from the game? I don't understand it.
Why? Why?
Get a crop, Mace.
This ain't two-ply.
That's a party foul.
Anyway, Barry Sanders is an excellent player. Barry Sanders forfeited $3.1 million in base salary.
Forfeited?
Hey man, this is not English class. If anyone's gonna correct English, it's me. I have a degree.
Exactly.
Mace, continue.
Forfeited $3.1 million in base salary and a $250,000 reporting bonus for the 1999 season. He's given up all this money. He's given up the love to play football. After 10 wonderful seasons in which he finished with 15,269 career yards rushing, after only 10 seasons, only topped by Walter Payton, who had 16,726 yards. Come on. We need players like this to stay in NFL. We need these franchise players. Moving on to another player like Robert Smith, who played for the Vikings for 8 years. He just decides to walk away from the game also. Now, being a Detroit fan and not a Viking fan, I want to say that he was a good player, but what happened? He just decides to quit.
Could it be that he quit because he's second to Emmitt Smith, the great?
Or because he's got no game.
That could be it. I mean,
Robert
he is from
Smith
Ohio
is
State.
good.
No game.
Running
Barry
back from Ohio
Sanders
State,
was better, though.
Eddie George.
Granted, Barry
Barry
Sanders
was the man. He shouldn't have retired.
He shouldn't have
retired.
You know what? Since these guys are retiring, I've been working hard today. My first day, I've been working really hard. You know what?
You can't leave, man.
You just got here, man.
I'm tired. My body's worn out and stuff, you know.
How are we going to continue the show with two people?
I don't know. I have personality enough to
We
carry
already
the show
lost two.
by myself.
We already lost two. Now we got two. Man, anyways,
First
I guess
there were
it's,
four,
is it
now
my
there are
turn?
two. We'll see who's next.
Mace, come back. Come back to it.
Please, Mace.
Mace,
Please
come
come
on.
back. Brad,
All right.
Brad, go ahead.
We got Mace back.
What has you
We
mad,
got Mace
Brad?
back. Well, what has me mad is, well, I'll just put it this way. Death Blow, Mondo, Thoro, and Super C. No, those aren't the newest artists on the No Limit record label. And no, that is not one of the new titles of the Shaq movie. But
Hey, don't talk about Shaq.
he can't act.
Don't talk about
He's
Shaq.
overrated.
He can't act.
I said don't talk about Shaq.
Shaq's
Hey,
overrated.
did you ever listen to his rap record? He couldn't rap either.
Hey, man, I wrote those lyrics. I was a
Did you play the video game Shaq Fu?
Anyways, back to the thing. Death Blow, Mondo, Thoro, and Hit Squad, those are the names on the back of the XFL jerseys featuring last night's game between the Las Vegas Who Cares and the LA.
We don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, it's real stupid. And they also had He Hate Me. He hate me. Like Josh said last week, we all hate him. And two defenders on the LA team, I hate he, and I hate he too. Ridiculous. You know what, Jeremy? I'm taking back my bonus of last week for the XFL. I hate the XFL.
Yes! We got him. He's converted.
Yes.
I was a bogus too, even though I
The first-
wasn't on the show last week.
Sorry, the affirmative action hadn't kicked in yet.
Yeah. But it's Black History Month now.
And
Mace is here.
Welcome to the show. I haven't welcomed you yet.
Thanks a lot, man.
Appreciate
Glad
it.
to be here. Glad to be here. Thank
This
you.
is called Rant Down the Line, so I'm going to talk about what's got me mad.
What has you mad, Jeremy?
It's kind of self-deprecating because what has me mad...
Self-deprecating.
Yeah,
That's a big word.
I told you I'm an English major. I can use those big... That's a GRE word.
You get 8 points for that one. That was a big word.
Anyway, it's sportscasters. Sportscasters who have a tendency to hyperbolize stories. Like Bill Walton calling basketball games. A player make a layup and he's like, that's the most... Okay, that's the most aerodynamic...
Whoa, that sounds just like you.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hey, that was good.
Are you clowning me?
No.
Shut
Sorry.
up.
You're clowning him.
Take away his mic. Anyway, as I was saying, Bill Walton, he'll watch a guy hit a jump shot and say he's like the best jump shooter ever, or comparing him to Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan. Come on. He made one shot all game. Bill, calm down. You weren't even that good. See, and that's the other thing that bothers me. They'll have old players who retired, like, you know, Robert Smith or Barry Sanders.
Brian Bosworth?
Yeah, in the XFL, Brian Bosworth. How did he get a job?
Did you see Stone Cold? Do you remember that movie Stone Cold?
My mom told me not to waste money. I'm sorry. Brian Bosworth, the only complete sentence he's ever completed that made sense was, yes, this is my urine sample.
Talking about people that can't act. Ooh. Brian Bosworth. Worse than Shaq. Worse than Shaq.
Hey, man, Shaq was good in that Fushnickers video. That Fushnickers video, that was tight.
But did you see Kazam? Or what about Steel?
Again, I'll say, my mom told me not to waste money. Kazam. Anyway, we need to get these sportscasters who don't know what they're talking about, who have nothing to say and just, you know, over-exaggerate even the most basic plays. I mean, a guy will get a steal and he say, you know, he has more fists than Billy the Kid or something like that. I mean, he's just whack. He needs to stop.
Or tougher, as Jim Ross puts it on WWF, tougher than a $3 steak.
I mean, who screens these guys? Really? I mean, one of us could get that job, and I have no experience.
Hey,
anyway.
Hey, the rant counts experience.
You know what? The rant is experience, and you are enjoying that experience, I hope. But if you're not, tell us about it. You can email us at therant16@hotmail.com. That's THERANT@HOTMAIL.com. Yes, it's on the bottom of your screen, folks. Therant.com.
For the spelling impaired, he hooked y'all up.
Yeah, even though I just said therant.com, and that's not what it is. It's therant@hotmail.com. We'll be back with more on The Rant after these messages. Today on The Rant, we have Butch Gardner, considered by many to be the greatest basketball player ever at Harding University. He is their leading scorer and leading rebounder. Now, it's been a couple years since Butch has played basketball, so we wanted to see if he still had game. So this weekend, we filmed him and his son Jared, who's a freshman here at Harding, playing a little game of one-on-one. Here's that tape.
Uh-oh, we're in trouble. Good shot.
As I said in the opening, you're considered by many to be the greatest player ever at Harding University. How does that make you feel?
Well, I don't know, Jeremy. I don't think about it that often. I guess proud. It's a humbling title to have because we at Harding have had some tremendous basketball players. So I think that's a great honor to be called the greatest player.
Now, you're the all-time leading scorer and all-time leading rebounder, but that's not all you do on the court. You play defense, you got block shots, you pass the ball. What was your favorite thing to do while you were on the court?
Well, obviously, Jeremy, if you're a basketball player, you like to score. And I would say that was probably my favorite thing to do, although I did enjoy passing the basketball. It gave me a great sense of satisfaction to make a good, clever, no-look pass to one of my teammates and set him up for an easy basket. That was fun.
You say you have a little point forward in you?
Got a little point guard in me, a little Magic Johnson, yeah.
That's good. Now, are you a fan of today's game? And do you watch it? I know you said every basketball player's main objective is to score, and it seems like today's game is geared towards higher scoring. Are there any players that you follow, or are you a fan of today's game?
Well, I enjoy watching today's game. The game has changed, obviously, considerably since the years that I played. When I was a player, we did not have the three-point shot. We did not have the 45-second shot clock. So that has made it more of an offensive game, which would appeal to me more. It would have been really exciting to play with today's game. So, but I do enjoy watching it. The one thing that I guess I don't like about today's game is the physical nature in which the game has turned into. A lot of conferences, depending on where you go, play a little bit more physical than others. But some of the games that I've seen almost looks like football games without pads, and I really don't necessarily enjoy that phase of it. But it's a great game. Basketball is still basketball. It's still one of the greatest games that I know of, and I still enjoy watching it.
So would you call yourself more of a finesse player then?
Oh, probably. I played power forward. That's what we called it back in the day. I think probably a four spot is what most coaches would call it nowadays. But finesse was a big asset in my game, but I also had the ability to overpower some players with my jumping ability, and always enjoyed doing that.
Now, behind most good players is a great coach. Who are some of the coaches along the way that kind of helped you achieve that all-time greatest status?
Well, my coach in college here at Harding was Coach Jess Busey. And Coach Busey coached for many years, and Coach was a tremendous coach. Helped me a lot in my game. I guess probably the biggest thing that he did for my game was to improve my shooting. He made me excel in that area. I was a decent shooter when I came here, but with his knowledge of the game and how to shoot the basketball, he was able to make me a much better shooter. And I was fortunate enough to work with Coach Busey for several years after playing as a coach in a cohort, and I really enjoyed those years with him.
Now, your basketball playing days didn't exactly end the moment you played your last game at Harding. You tried out with the Hawks of the NBA?
Yeah, that's correct, Jeremy. 77, I believe, was the year, summer of 77. I was fortunate enough to be invited to try out with the Atlanta Hawks. Coach Huey Brown was the coach at that time, who's now a color analyst for one of the stations. I don't even remember which one. But
we won't name that station.
We won't name that station. But it was really a good camp. We had 20, 25 players there. They were all free agents and draft choices, and I was fortunate enough to be able to work out with some of the best, really, basketball players in the country at that time. Unfortunately, I was injured. I don't know if you call it an injury or not, but suffered from heat prostration or dehydration or severe electrolyte imbalance while I was there. We worked out in the Morehouse Gymnasium. Huh. I think you're probably familiar with that gymnasium. It's about 120 degrees in there in July, which is when we were there. And I just basically lost most of my body fluids and suffered from heat cramps after the first day, and that was the end of it. I mean, that was it. You really don't get a second chance. So.
Well, there's definitely no shame in that, because I've been in there just as a fan to watch some of the games, and because Morehouse is my alma mater, and it gets ridiculous in there. So
it's quite warm in July in Atlanta in Morehouse Gymnasium.
Indeed, it is. Do you miss anything about the game?
Well, obviously, I missed the game. I have no regrets. I had a good career here at Harding University. I really get excited when I watch the Bisons play in the old gym that's now the new gym in Rhodes. It's such a tremendous atmosphere over there, and it's hard to sit and watch them play without internally wanting to go out and shoot a few hoops with the guys.
We saw that you can shoot a few hoops. Jared, unfortunately, was the victim, but he was a good sport and came out there.
Well, as you can tell, it's been more than a few years since I've played, but you know, I've kept in fairly decent shape, and I don't play anymore, but I'd like to think that I could anyway.
Well, we're glad you took some time out of your busy schedule. I know you're the director of the Minority Student Services here. What kind of the responsibilities do you have with that?
Well, basically, I work with the minority students here on campus to get them involved in campus life. We do programs. In fact, we've got a program coming up this weekend that our minority student committee is heavily involved in and working with trying to attract more minority students to campus. And it's been a fun work, and it's very exciting, and I'm enjoying that tremendously.
Well, Mr. Gardner, good luck with that and all
Thank
your
you,
other
Jeremy.
endeavors. We appreciate you coming here on the Rant.
Thank you. Enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
We'll be back with the rest of the show in the bonus or bogus section after these messages.
And welcome back to the studio, and welcome back to the Rant. This is our Sports IQ section of the show, and with me is TV16's very own Tuesday, Thursday news anchor, Heather Gray. Heather, we're going to ask you the question, and of course we're going to give you some time to think about it. What is icing? Go ahead and be thinking about that, and while you're thinking about that, let's find out what some of your other peers said about icing.
What is icing?
Does it have to do with something about playing hockey?
Elaborate, please.
I don't know, the hockey they play on ice.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
The hockey they play on ice.
Icing is stuff that people that are really into sports put on their faces and cheer really loud like this.
Icing is when you sling a puck in hockey to someone really like aggressive.
It's in ice hockey when the hockey players go to the side real fast to turn or stop and they get ice all over the other person.
And there you have it. That's what they think about icing. What does Heather Gray think about icing?
Well, I know it has something to do with hockey, and I'm not real sure on the rule. I think it has something to do with you're not supposed to go past the back line. And I only say that because I'm familiar with indoor soccer, and I know that's similar.
Okay, okay. I think we'll go ahead and give that one to her. Of course, as you know, icing is when the puck will cross the two blue lines, and only the opposite team's goalie can touch it. If the opposite team member that is other than the goalie touches it, that's icing. So we'll go ahead and give Heather a pizza and medium pizza, and if you'd like a chance to win that pizza, you can email us at therant16@hotmail.com. Stay with us. We got plenty more coming up after the commercial. Bonus or bogus? Don't go away.
It is time for bonus or bogus, my favorite part of the show, where we take a pertinent sports issue or player and tell whether we think it's a good thing or a bad thing. Good being bonus, bad being bogus. And this week's topic, Allen Iverson. Mace, you're the rookie. You're up first.
All right. On this week's topic, I guess we're going to discuss the fact that Allen Iverson is the best player in the NBA, or if he's eligible enough to take the 76ers to a championship. Me personally, I don't think so. My vote, I'm going to go bogus, just because Iverson is a wonderful player. I even think he has MVP status. He has the stats. He plays well with his team, but Allen Iverson is a ball hog. He hogs a lot. The 76ers are beginning to win, but I don't think that Allen Iverson has what it takes to take this team to a championship.
Mace,
So what you're
Show me
saying?
the
whoa,
rings.
you can't
Show me
talk
the
about
rings,
ball
Iverson.
hogs, Mace. Anybody ever gone to see his intramural basketball team play?
Probably not.
Anybody ever seen?
Probably not,
Here's
Brad.
Mace. Mace. Oh, clank. Mace, come back. Clank.
I feel you on the ball
You a
hog,
ball
though, because
hog.
I think Allen Iverson needs a visit from the fun police because he does not know how to dish the rock whatsoever. But, you know, it's not my turn. Brad,
It's my turn.
Go
So
ahead.
back up off me, Jeremy.
Hey.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Hey, don't get too cocky there.
I may be the lone gunman once again in this show, just like last week, because I do think Allen Iverson is the man. Yes, he does put up a lot of shots. Yes, he is a ball hog, but he puts in those shots, unlike Mr. Thomas over here. Allen Iverson has a lot of tattoos, has no rings, but he has a lot of game. And, Jeremy, I'm sorry, I know you're probably going to make some joke about Allen Iverson's body on the next, your turn, but he's the man.
I thought this was a sports show, so I'm going to talk about his game. You said game?
He's got game.
He has one-sided game, and that's why he gets a bogus from me. Allen Iverson only plays on one side of the ball, on one side of the court. He plays offense. He's a great scorer. He can score from outside. He can score driving down the lane, but he does not play defense. He plays no defense. He's a shorter guard. He gets steals from shooting the
He's in the
gap.
top 5 in NBA in steals.
Name one guy he shuts down. You don't have people
That's
like
D.
he can't handle the big guards like Kobe Bryant and Jalen Rose when he has to play against them. He can't shut
But they
any of those
can't
guys
hold him
down.
either.
I believe that
They
Kobe
might put
Bryant
up 30, he'll put up 40.
Hold on now, bro. He's been shut down by Kobe Bryant the last 2 times they played.
And
he got erased.
Didn't the Sixers beat the Lakers last time they played? In the time before that? I think so.
I mean,
I think the Spectrum's seen the Sixers beat LA a couple of times lately.
It doesn't count until you get to the playoffs. And
they'll get there this year. They'll get there this year.
No.
They will get to the playoffs here. And you know what? We might just see Allen Iverson go against Kobe Bryant in the NBA championship. And then we'll see who's wrong.
We'll see
and who's
Kobe.
right.
Kobe will embarrass him. He will take each and every one of those cornrows he has in his head and rip them out as he's ripping the ball and dunk on him. He can't see him. You know what? He needs about as many MVP votes as he has record sales. That means 2. Did you buy his album? No. Please don't. Please don't. My mom told me not to waste money, so I can't. No.
Yeah.
So how many boguses is that?
That's 2 boguses, 1 bonus. So once again, Brad.
But you know what? Even though we won't be here when the NBA championship does come around, the Philadelphia 76ers, you heard it here first, will win the championship.
He's putting himself on the line. I give him respect for that.
It's on the line.
You have something to add, Mace?
Let me hand you a tissue. Sorry, Brad, I'm out.
Just like time. So
Just wipe those tears up, man. Just keep them up there.
wait, hold on. Let me get that for you. There you go. You okay now?
I love you guys. I really do. I do.
Anyway, and
but you know what? It's Tom.
We love you guys at home, so please tell us how to make the show better, how to make it more interesting, amazing. We want people to watch TV 16. We want people to watch The Rant. So this email address on the bottom of your screen, use it. Tell us how we can improve it. We'll see you next week. And as we go out, check these highlights. I did a good job, I think, this time.
They're very nice. See you next week. You can't dance, Jeremy.
Not on Harding's campus.
He said, man.